Welcome back, guys, to episode 22 of Candid Chats with CNC.
I'm
What's
Chris.
wrong?
I just started laughing because of you.
What'd I do?
I'm Chris.
I'm Colleen.
That's Colleen.
If you're new,
if you didn't know.
we're 22 episodes in. I'd hope they know by now.
Yeah, who's to say? We've been gaining a lot of more followers. Where do you know? I mean, it's in the name, but like, I mean,
Well, since you brought it up, Chris,
inclusive.
you want to share the big news since you brought it up?
Brought what up? Oh, yes. I was like, what news? Okay. So fun stuff is happening. First things first, we have had over 800, creeping up on 900 views, downloads,
The whole shebang.
interactions, the whole shebang, which is super exciting. We're very happy about that. But in even more exciting news, we have had interactions and listeners from 3 different international countries.
Okay, you guys know that we were so excited about just having Poland, but we were hyped last night when we figured this out.
Yeah, so we have viewers and listeners from here in the United States, Poland, Austria, and Switzerland. So, hello, Europe.
Yeah.
It's nice to have you.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay, and it blows my mind because we use Podbean for like how we just distribute the podcast across all sites because it makes life so much easier.
Yeah, and selfish plug, it's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the Podbean subscription is only $14 a month, right?
Yeah.
So with $14, you can literally see all of your demographics, all the different states. We're up to like 28 or 29 states. You can see all of that. You can see all the total number of viewers, listeners. You can even watch and listen to the podcast on Podbean. It's great.
And well, so what's crazy to me is like it does show a lot of people's locations, but there's like 40 some that are unknown. And as of right now, it's showing that we don't have any listeners in Florida. And I feel like that has to like not be true because there's so many people in Florida. And you're telling me that we have listeners over in Austria, Switzerland, and Poland, but nobody in Florida? Like
Yeah, I know.
that doesn't add up.
I know. We have listeners in Idaho, for God's sake.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm so proud of us because like our 6-month goals when we started this podcast was to reach over 25 states, become international, have international listeners, and to surpass 500 downloads. And we've done all of that.
How many months has it been?
April. It's going on 7.
Yeah. So we like our goal, like Colleen said, was the first like 6 months, just for a couple of months, like see how it goes and everything. And then when it hit was the 6-month plan, we were like, okay, these are the goals that we want to set and we want to see. And then that's when we were like, well, if they go well, then we need to get microphones.
Well,
instead of using our AirPods all the time, and stuff. So I mean, this is a very good incentive.
Yeah, we might want to invest.
Might need to invest more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be like our holiday upgrade to ourselves.
Wow. Yeah. Merry Christmas, Candid Chats.
You sent me mine and I sent you yours.
I was honestly thinking about that.
That'd be funny. Anywho,
Anyway.
we took a week off last week. If you stay up to date with our Instagram, which is down below, you would have known that.
Which was my fault.
Yes, I was just about to say
You
that.
outed me to everyone on
I did.
the social media.
That was payback for the first post that you posted. Chris took over our social media like 2 weeks ago for the Halloween episode. He took over our Instagram and totally just blasted me on Instagram.
It was hilarious. Okay, it was so funny.
So I had to get you back.
Yeah, well, of course, like for those of you that may have not listened to the one last week, we did a Halloween episode and we dressed up as for
2 weeks
Halloween
ago. 2 weeks
2 weeks ago. The previous episode, either way.
Yeah.
And so you dressed up as crap. Now I don't remember what his name is, but it's the guy
Damien.
from Damien, the guy from Mean Girls. So she had like, her like sweatshirt on with the sunglasses. Yeah, with the sunglasses. And it was like she doesn't even go here. So it was very funny. And she like got really close to the camera and like
Yeah,
I could
'cause they're, like,
literally
super
see,
reflective.
yeah, like I can see myself. Hi Chris. So it was funny, and then I just zoomed in on her face because it was very funny.
Yeah, I like how it just kept getting closer and closer.
I thought it was funny.
It was funny. But yeah, I had to get you back. So please give us an update as to why we did not record last week.
Yes. So a lot of things have been happening over the past couple weeks. The main reason why we didn't record last week was because I had a big work event at the office starting on Tuesday. And so it's been mad prep for the past like 4 months to get this event ready. We had quite a few women from all across the country come into the office and go through a training. So we were prepping for that. It was great. And then I stayed there for 2 days. It went through Friday, but I left, got up at 3:00 on Thursday morning, took a 2.5-hour nap, woke up at 3:00, and then left my house at 3:45 for a work trip. So I went to I'm sorry if you're from Missouri in this state and this, listening to this, but to the awful state of Missouri.
We do have listeners in Missouri.
I'm just joking. I've been to Missouri a couple times, and honestly, like it's a good state, but I just have such bad things that happen to me whenever I'm in that state. I think that it hates me. At the end of the day, it hates me.
I've been to Branson, Missouri once, and I hated it. I will never go back.
Okay, well, we need to like be nice to the listeners in Missouri. I retracted my statement for a reason, Colleen. And so, but no, I mean, I had a great time. The work trip was great. It was a lot of fun. It was with one of our groups that we work with, and so the trip was great. But for some reason, the state of Missouri does not believe in reservations for restaurants or anything like that. And so there were like 3 restaurants that cancel, or like they said when I called them in like a month ago, I was trying to make reservations for it's a small like German town in the middle of Missouri. It's called Herman. And I tried to make reservations at like 5 places, and they were like, oh, like we don't take reservations, but we're never super, super busy. So if you call ahead the morning of, then you should be fine. And so I was like, okay, cool. So then I tried to call them the morning of, all of them. Nobody answers the phone. And I was like, what? Why is nobody answering the phone? And so then we get there and they're like, oh, we can't. Like, it's going to be like 2 hours. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And so I literally was like trying to not be mean, but I was like, I seriously tried to call you this morning and this is what I did. Like I called weeks ago and then you told me this. So then I called this morning, no one answered the phone. And then you're here and then now this is the issue.
Yeah, that's annoying.
They're like, I'm sorry, we're short staffed. Like, there's nothing. I've definitely missed some calls. I'm like, hey, you don't answer the phone. Like,
at all.
Like, how are these people eating in this restaurant right now?
Yeah.
And
oh my God,
so
that sucks.
I was just like, whatever. But it was fine. And then we ended up just ordering pizza and eating it at the hotel. But it was like a Greek pizza place.
Oh.
Yeah, it was called Theo's Midtown in Jefferson City, Missouri. 10 out of 10, great pizza. And so we were going through and not a lot of people, of course, like some of the pizza names are in Greek. And so knowing Katerina, one of our, our previous guests, I can like understand some things, or I can pronounce easier words. So one of the pizzas was called spanakopita. It was like Theo's spanakopita. And so I was like, oh, like, and someone was like, how do I say this word? Like, and I was like, spanakopita. And they were like, what? And I was like, spanakopita. So I taught them all how to say it correctly. And they thought it was cool. And they were like, how do you know this? And I was like, oh, my best friend's Greek. Like her family were born in Greece. And so it was cool to like do that. But then I ended up calling the pizza place and ordering the pizza. And I was like, I would like a large Theo spanakopita and whatever else we got. And they said, a what? And I was like, a Theo spanakopita? And they're like, a spanakopita. And I was like, you work at this great pizza place and you don't even know how to say spanakopita.
Oh my God. God.
It was funny. But overall, trip was great. Event was great. Everything's great. Got back on Monday morning at like midnight. So
are you gonna share?
So the second
news?
part of the news. The second part of the news.
I kept waiting and waiting.
Well, I was just sharing the story, but the second part, the bigger part, I got promoted. So got promoted at work. It's a great opportunity. Unfortunately, I will be switching teams, which I am kind of sad about, because I've gotten pretty close with one of the guys that's on my team. Appreciate him. We'll still be working together, just in different capacity. But there's been a lot of changes on my team too. So I've also taken a big interest in one of the guys who's also on the team that's been at my company for like 9 years. And so it's just going to be a little hard. It's going to be a little different because I'm not going to like work with them every single day. But I mean, we still work at the same company. I'm still going to be at the relatively same place in the office and everything. So I'm still going to see them and everything. It's just going to be a little different. But I'm very excited. I'm going to have a lot more independency. You know that I got that raise. So I'm very excited. I think it's going to be great. And I think that this position is really like the Kickstarter for like me to be like successful in my career. And
it's crazy because you literally your 1 year anniversary was last month. Like,
I know.
Crazy.
I switch over to the new position on the 16th, so next Tuesday. And so I'm literally switching into my promotion 1 month and 1 year after my first day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
At where I work.
But that's so exciting.
I know.
So exciting. We're so happy for you.
Yes. So I'm excited. It's gonna be good stuff. So one other thing to share, which I kind of like, I texted you and Kat about this today, but I'm going to share it because I was like, do I share it? I'm going to anyway. So you're
doing okay, go on.
Yeah. So with that, if those of you who are like close with us and good friends and stuff, I had a lot of outreach of support and saying like congratulations and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. One thing though that bothers me is Colleen and I had a high school guidance counselor who was also partially middle school, also our gym teacher when we were in elementary school for a period of time, whatever. Internally, I'm sure she's a great lady, but she rubbed me the wrong way when I was in high school, and she told me that I was not going to go to college and that I was not going to be successful and that I should give up my dreams of going to college and trying to get a job and be successful and become a farmer. And let me tell you firsthand.
Which pisses me off because it's not easy to be a farmer.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what the heck? Like, okay, number one, if that was supposed to be a dig or a jab, it wasn't. I mean, it was, but it wasn't, because also like my family are not farmers. We work with farmers in different aspects and stuff. And farming is very important to our entire home community. And it takes a lot to be a farmer. It's a hard thing to do. And especially like think about it this way for those listeners that are not in the agricultural world. Farmers don't fully know how much money they're going to be making in a year. That's all dependent upon prices of grain, corn, soybean, wheat, hay, straw, whatever it is.
And Mother Nature.
And Mother Nature, literally. And so it was rude, number one, because that's just a horrible thing to say to someone, because what if I wanted to become a farmer?
Mm-hmm.
That's my choice. And so it's just rude. Number two, how dare you tell me that I wasn't going to be successful and I should just give up on my dreams?
Yeah, I can see her saying that though.
To be a guidance counselor and to say that to someone.
Yeah.
So, hello, if you're listening.
Hair flip.
Guess who got promoted in their first year of work and is living and working in Washington, D.C. See you later, honey.
Oh my God.
Or I hope not. But that was my rant. It's really just been sitting on me today and really just bothers me. So
don't let those type of people affect your energy.
I know. So word of advice to everyone else. If someone was rude to you, a teacher, a guidance counselor, a professor, whoever it is, and they tried to drag you down and stop and discourage you from following your dreams, don't listen to them and prove them wrong. Makes you feel a whole bunch better.
Mic dropped.
That's all I have to say.
So I've been changing topics here. I've been looking down at my phone a little bit because my mom just texted my sister and I and was like, this was in our garage today. And my parents are currently like doing some construction on our house. And our contractor guy had to get it out of our garage.
Oh God, isn't it an animal?
Yeah, it's a snake. And like not a garter snake, like a snake.
Oh God.
Yeah. And my mom was like, yeah, like we don't think it's a garter snake. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so either. And my sister said, I need you to set the house on fire and build a new one. I cannot.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so speaking of work things, I had something interesting happen on Friday. So my boss called a couple of us to his office and we were just talking about some upcoming things that we have coming up here in the future and just some planning and stuff. He was scheduling some meetings and stuff for us. We started talking about our shifts because we're in a weird spot right now where I am working like 8:30 to 5:30, but soon I will be changing to a different shift once these changes are implemented. And we were talking about our shifts and everything. And one of my colleagues was like, yeah, I'm coming in at 11 at night, 11 p.m. and was like, I would like to know who's going to be in the building just because, it's literally dead of night. There's not going to be very many people here. And I was like, well, you're only going to be here for 2 hours until I come in at 1 a.m. because I was told this entire time that I'm coming in 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. And my boss was like, no, you're not. Who told you that? And I went, you did? And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, literally, when you sent me the like official offer via email, you put Monday through Friday, 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. Like, do you accept the position? And he was like, oh my God. He was like, how did I let that slip through the crack? And we were like, what? Like, I was like, what? And everyone was just kind of like, this is awkward. And I was like, so when am I working? And he was like, you're coming in at 4 a.m. and leaving at 12:30 p.m. And I was like, oh. This is the first time I've heard that. Literally, everyone in the office like was on the same page that I am, that I was coming in at 1. And I was like, all right. Then he explained it to me. And it makes a lot more sense. And it's going to be a lot less stressful on my part coming in during that time. But now I've just been like preparing myself for the last 2 months that, I'm going to have to go to bed at like 5 or 6 p.m. and get up at midnight and go into work by 1. And that's a big life change. And
yeah,
not that I don't think I could handle it, but I was just, mentally preparing that like after the holidays, that's going to be my life. So now I'm just retraining my brain that I'm now I can get up at 3 a.m. But I think it's going to be a lot better because now I can go to bed at like 7 or 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit more realistic. And my weekends, it will be easier to adjust like back to normal for the weekends and go back. I'll just go to bed later. So, but yeah, I was just like, okay, yeah, that actually makes a lot more sense. But I was just like, what?
Yeah.
So it was funny. My boss, he felt so bad. He was so apologetic. But yeah, now I'm just like, okay, we all right, gotta think a little differently now.
Yeah. Interesting.
hmm Yeah,
I was gonna say, what time do you plan on going to bed? Like 7?
I guess
Coming
7 or,
out?
well, so I have options here. I have 3 options here. I can either go to bed right when I get off work at 12:30, which I don't think I'll plan on doing because in high school and college, I would not get up until 11 o'clock or noon anyways. So I started my day a lot around that time. So I feel like I'm just going to get off work and be like, all right, now I need to actually start my day and like go to the gym and like do stuff like that. So I don't see myself going to sleep right after work, but I could and sleep from 12:30 to 8 if I have something in the evening that I want to do. I don't see that happening unless there's just like an event or something in the evening. My second option is obviously to go to bed at 7 or 8 p.m., wake up at 3. I'm only a 10-minute drive to work. So get there by 4. Or my third option is, which is something I find interesting, is a lot of journalists sleep in blocks. So I would do like 4 hours after work, have like a personal life block, and then do 4 hours again, and then have a work block. That's something I could see myself doing during the winter, maybe, just because there's less daylight and stuff like that. So, or maybe during the summer, I don't know. We'll see. So I have some things to play around with, but I'll probably start out doing 7 or 8 p.m. I'm sure I'll take naps after work.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to figure out with the podcast too.
Yes, we will. That is something else I was thinking about because we had it figured out with the 1 to 9. Yeah,
But
we'll
I
figure it out.
think I think that our original plan was to do it on Sundays and stuff. So
Yeah, we've kind of geared away from that, haven't we?
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just have to stick
So
to a more solid plan. But I actually think it'll be a little bit easier because we'll both be on routines.
yeah, I agree.
So
Yeah. Wow, interesting stuff.
yeah, other than that, I really haven't had much going on.
When are you going back to Ohio next?
Just
Thanksgiving?
working. There is a wedding happening in our hometown on November
Oh
20th
yes.
that I would like to go to because I haven't been to a wedding since I was like in high school, if not earlier than that. I can't even, yeah, the last wedding I was at, I was a senior in high school. So I haven't been
Whose was that?
Lexi's.
Oh yeah.
I was in the wedding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the only thing that sucks about it though is since it's the weekend before Thanksgiving, I would go home like Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the weekend of the 20th, have to come back Sunday night, probably be at work Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday if he makes us work Wednesday, and then go back. So I'm just like, I don't know if it's worth it. I decided that like next week, like Wednesday of next week is when I'll decide. It just depends on like how hectic work is and everything and what's going on. But yeah, I'm just like, is it worth it? Because that's just going to be a lot of driving in like a 5-day span. So we'll see. I would really like to go, but it might not happen.
Yeah.
I'm up in the air about it. But my mom hasn't even told us what we're doing for Thanksgiving. We usually have it at our house and we have it kind of small because we do Christmas pretty big. But I haven't even heard anything about Thanksgiving. So
we have a Thanksgiving plan, I'm pretty sure. Oh, well, Thanksgiving, we're just going to my grandma's house because also everyone, fun fact, next Friday I'm moving. So big life stuff happening. I'm also going back to Ohio tomorrow for a couple days.
Yeah.
So that'll be
I know.
Cool.
Me, you, and Kat have to get together over Thanksgiving.
I know.
Hopefully we can make that work.
I agree.
I mean, I've seen Kat more than you have.
Yeah. I'm hoping. Well, her and I are planning on seeing each other hopefully this weekend. I need to call her on my way home tomorrow
Yeah.
and see what's going on.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we
But
get into? We've
well,
rambled
I
on
guess
for a little
yeah. I was
while.
gonna say we've rambled. Let's get on to like what's the word?
What's the word of the day? The word of the day is road trips.
Road trips.
Everyone's like, "Am I on the right podcast?"
I know, they're like, what are you talking about? So yes, we are going to talk about road trips. I think this is a fun topic. Colleen and I have done some road tripping ourselves.
We have. We have. It's been a minute.
Good and bad
Yes.
individually.
Yes.
And so I think it's just like a fun topic because we're getting into the holiday season. A lot of people are going to be road tripping to see family, see friends, stuff like that. So people are coming home from college. So we're going to talk about road trips, the good, bad, and the ugly.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm excited. I feel like we have to start with what our go-to road trip was for like 3 years in a row.
Makes me a little sad.
I know. So, at some point in high school, Chris and I decided we wanted to go do something over the summer and like kind of make it an annual thing. And we had both been to Kings Island a decent amount because it's like an hour from where we live. But we had never been.
To give everyone preface, Kings Island is an amusement park near Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Well, see, so this weekend when I was with all those people, there were 12 of us. All 12 of us were from different states. And so I was talking about like amusement parks and like David, like my coworker, he was like, I was like, have you ever heard of like Cedar Point or anything? And he was like, no, what is that? And I was like, oh, these people.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We're
talking about amusement parks.
I had been to Cedar Point with my sister once, but I don't think you had been at all, right?
I had. My parents and I used to go quite a bit.
Well, we hadn't been in a long time because we always went to Kings Island like for school trips or stuff like that. Like our senior class went to Kings Island, stuff like that. Yeah, we decided that we like wanted to make it an annual thing. So I a junior and you were a senior when we started doing this? Or were we in college?
No, we were in high school.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was a junior and you were a senior. I think that was the first time we did it. So, you know, we're in high school and it's the summer. We were working summer jobs, but like we didn't have very much money. And
I didn't have a summer job.
I was working a summer job. I didn't have very much money.
I was gonna say, did I never had a summer job in high school. I was just too involved with fair crap.
I think I was probably working at Ann Taylor or something.
Dwyer's.
Yeah, no, that was way before that.
Dwyer's is a hardware store also.
Yeah. But we ended up getting like a Red Roof Inn. It was like $60 for the night. Like it was cheap. And it was also like 45 minutes from the park. So we had to get up really early in the morning, like get breakfast and like get to the park because we wanted to get there like when it opened. And we stayed at this Red Roof Inn 2 times, 2 years in a row.
But it was a nice Red Roof Inn.
It was, and it was for one night. Like
fine.
We would drive up in the evening, stay there, go to the park in the morning, go to the park all day, and then drive back that night. So it was just like a 48-hour, 2-day excursion. So the thing about this Red Roof Inn that always stuck with me, and there are videos that crack me up still, the light switch for the bathroom was on the outside bathroom. So I would always wait until Chris would hop in the shower and I would turn the lights off.
I wanted to kill this bitch.
I also have a video of you blow drying your shorts that you were going to wear the next day to Kings Island because they didn't dry all the way when you were packing.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I put like first world problems.
It's definitely a new thing to do.
And you're so mad. Like you look so pissed, just blow drying your pants. But the third time that we went, and this was the final time that we went, and we were in college by this point. I think I was a sophomore and you were a junior or something like that. I might have been a freshman. But we decided, you know what, this is our third time. We're in college now. Let's go a little bit bigger. So
Yeah.
we ended up staying at a different hotel, and it was one that was like right beside the park. And it was like, in a more poppin' area. There was like an Applebee's and like places to eat and stuff. So we decided to like go to Applebee's for some appetizers, like after driving up there. We go into this Applebee's and there's just bikers lining the bar and then just us.
The thing is I didn't even notice all of the motorcycles outside.
Neither did I. We got in there
So we
and sat
walked in,
down.
we were like, where,
Yeah.
what in the world is going on?
We felt very out of place. And we also decided that this time we're gonna get fast passes. Like, we're not standing in those long lines.
Through the lines.
It's always hot as hell. We're not doing it. So we get to Cedar Point and like, we buy our fast passes and everything. And the lady does his first, does the one that we bought, because there's like 2 different levels.
Yeah.
And
so it's like the fast lane plus and then like the regular fast lane. So like the regular fast lane gets you get the you get to go in the fast lane for all of the rides except for their like top 4.
yeah,
And
except for
then,
their
like,
big ones.
The plus one, you get everything.
Yeah. So she gives Chris
We
the
bought-
regular one.
Yeah.
We bought the regular one.
Yeah.
And she puts the expensive one on me. And we walk away and I'm like, why are they different? And he's like, I don't know. And like, we figured out that like I had the more expensive one. So Chris walks back up and is like, hey, I think you gave me the wrong one. You put the correct one. Like, we bought that one. You put the correct one on my friend. And she was like, oh, like I'm so sorry. And like puts the right one on, like puts the wrong one, but the one I had on Chris. And yeah, so then we like walk away and we're so like, we're containing our excitement and we're like, oh my God, like she messed up. Like, we have the expensive ones.
I know. So we rode every ride in that park that day.
This is the kicker, right? We wanted them because it's usually hot and it usually sucks waiting in the lines. This is the one time, like in July, that the high that day was like 70 degrees.
Yeah.
And we didn't dress for it. It was like overcast. It was chilly. It sprinkled a little bit. Like, it felt like a fall day. And
Yeah.
I'm in like track shorts. You have on shorts. I happened to bring like a zip up that was like in my car or something. And
I think I had my rain jacket.
Yeah, but like I remember that like we were like, it was cold like for July.
Cold.
Yeah.
Well, and we were up at Sandusky, like it was on the lake, like
Yeah, so it was breezy.
breezy.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
still fun. I'm glad that at least like our last one, that everything changed after that. We haven't done it
Yeah.
since then.
I know.
But
My favorite memory of those trips was, I think it was the second time that we went, because the first time we wanted to do that slingshot thing, but we didn't because we were like,
we chickened out.
it's a little much. And then the second time we were like, we're
You
doing it.
convinced me.
Mhm. We're doing it.
Mhm.
So then we did. I thought you convinced me.
You convinced me money wise, and then once I agreed money wise, you were like, "Oh wait, I didn't think I was actually going to convince you," and then I
Yeah.
convinced you to like actually do it.
Yes. So
Because we both
did it.
had like budgets, to go to the park and everything. Like, we wanted to spend a certain amount of money, and the slingshot was like $20, I think. And I was like, Chris, we haven't spent, like, we have $20 left. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we did it, and that was one of the wildest experiences I've ever had in my life.
I'm pretty sure I lost a life that day.
It was so funny because it's like, if you don't know what the slingshot thing is, we were in that like, I don't think it was a ball.
It's like, so it's in the shape of a sphere, because you have like the bars all around you, but you're not actually enclosed into a ball. Like, the thing is the size of a ball, and like, obviously, I mean, you're hooked in there. And
Oh yeah.
it's one of those rides that like the people put you in it and they like shove the bars into you. Like, I couldn't move. Like, I felt like my pelvis was back there. And
I could not move. I like was trying to like move my arms, and like my arms could not move. Like, they were not going anywhere.
And what's funny is we could like hold each other's hands, but you can't see each other at all. Like, you cannot turn your heads because you have like an apparatus, coming down that like you can't move.
Yeah, like I could look
So
over at her like this and be like, "Hey, girl."
yeah, and he was like, "Why are we doing this?"
I know. I was like,
So
"Why are we doing this?" I don't want to.
normally, so like it's like hooked to big cables, and normally they like push a button, it slingshots you, and you spin. Like you spin, you go up and down, you spin. That didn't happen with us.
No,
So
it
we
did not.
slingshot, and it
Happened with
tilts,
everybody else.
and we're facing. Yeah, we watched a couple people do it before us. We're facing the sky, right, and we're slingshotting
Yeah.
up. Then there's this pause. The whole thing tilts,
Yeah.
and we are now nose diving
Yeah.
to the cement.
Yeah.
We both-
literally, we were screaming so loud on the way up, and we get there, and then it tilts, and it's just
I
like
felt like it was
we
in
were
slow
there for
motion.
like 2 seconds,
But it felt like 5 minutes.
completely staring, and then immediately we both just shut up.
We stopped
It
screaming.
is dead silent.
I remember my mouth being open and I was trying to scream and nothing was coming out.
Pure fear.
Yeah, like I felt like I was in a simulation. Like I was like, what is happening? Like, yeah, it was crazy. And like, yeah, we spun after that. Like we nosedived down to the ground and there was another
For a
pause.
while.
Then we spun up.
Yeah.
But I was like,
That
of
was
course
wild.
this would happen to us. Of course it was. Of course it would. And of course, our dumbasses, we did it again the year after that.
Yeah, we did. It wasn't as fun the second time.
No, because our lives didn't flash before our eyes.
Yeah,
I can't believe we even did it the second time after that experience.
I know. I agree. It was wild. It was a good
Yeah.
time.
I always liked driving your car on the way back. That was like the only time like I've driven your car for a long distance.
Yeah, because we would also switch. So like I drove up the first time. So what we would do is we would switch cars.
Yeah.
So we used my car the first time. I drove up. She drove back. We used her car the second time. She drove up. I drove back. Then we used my car the third time. I drove up. She drove back.
Yeah. We'll have to do it again to make it even.
I know. We haven't used your new car yet.
I know. No, we have not. Oh, R.I.P. the Pussy Pontiac. I had a Pontiac G6, and that's what everybody called it.
That's very funny.
But yeah, we always have a kick in playlist to listen to.
Oh yeah.
You have
yes.
to. Have
Oh
to.
yes.
And we always went
That's
in
fun.
July. So on the way back, we would always like have the windows down because it would be nighttime driving back.
So
And
nice.
we would just scream songs at the top of our lungs. And there are so many Snapchat videos, memories that I have from those car rides and just like in the hotel and just like stopping at gas stations and stuff.
We had some interesting phone calls in those hotels.
We did. Yeah, we did. I forgot
it would
about
be
that.
every year. Colleen would have these weird guys coming out of the woodwork.
It's
And
almost
so
like they
she-
knew. It's almost like they
I
knew I
know.
had you as an audience.
I know. So they would call her or like whatever. And so I would just be sitting there laughing my butt off about
Mhm.
the whole thing because it was just hilarious.
Yeah, or someone would text me or Snapchat me or something that I hadn't talked to in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I had a boyfriend the first 2 times we went, and then I didn't the third time. Right? Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
one, it literally, because do you remember that one guy? He like, he was talking to you, not talking, but like he was like texting you, snapping you. That one time that we went, and then literally exactly a year later was the next time you talked to him.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
it
was
was creepy.
crazy.
It was
That was
creepy. I
crazy.
forgot about that. Yeah, it was weird. It was very weird. Another road trip that we did is I rode out with Chris to Washington, D.C. Back in January.
Yeah, you drove with me in January. It was after New Year's. Or
Yeah.
You came for New
Yeah, which was obviously a much longer drive.
Year's.
It was 8 hours, and to Cedar Point from our place is like what, 2.5, 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, so much longer drive. I got to see that gas station for the first time though. What's it called?
What gas station?
Starts with an S.
Sheets?
Yeah, that.
That was your first time seeing Sheets?
Yes. Remember, you were like so shocked.
Oh. I'm shocked again.
But
I forgot.
now there's one by the Rickenbacker Airport in Columbus.
Yeah, they have been
It
trying to get some in Columbus.
it looks very out of place.
Why?
I don't know. It just to me it will always be like an Eastern thing,
Oh, yeah.
Northeastern thing. Yeah.
Well, Rachel and I were talking about this. Ohio is a state that's like so cultural because I feel you get a taste of the East, you get a taste of the South, you get a
Yeah.
taste of the
But
Midwest.
but with politics, they try so hard to be a northern state. So hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not really a swing state that much anymore.
No, we were for a while, but
Yeah.
Anyway, but with driving out to Washington D.C., that was the first time I ever flew by myself because I drove out there with you and then I flew back home.
Oh yeah, that was your first time flying by yourself.
That was the first time I ever flew by myself. Went seamlessly, no problem.
Did I take you to Baltimore then too?
You did because I had Southwest points.
Damn, that damn airport.
We'll never have to do it again.
I'm not doing it again.
Well, so I actually texted Chris the other day because I found out. So with COVID, the Lexington Bluegrass Airport is not an international airport. Like the biggest airport to me is Cincinnati, and they took away like 15 direct flights when COVID happened because business people weren't traveling and they just flying was put to a minimum. They didn't need them really, but they finally added them back on this previous Sunday, and there is now a direct flight from the Bluegrass Airport to Reagan in DC, and it's made for business people. But every day you can fly out at like 6 a.m. and then fly back at and land at like 11:17 p.m. So it's made for business people, so you can like have a business trip in one day. So I guess if there was something urgent, I could come for one day.
Polly, I need your help.
That would suck, but I could do it. But yeah, I was looking at flights the other day after the holidays and away from like the major flying stuff. But flights are like $150-$200 round trip.
It's not bad.
No. And then they also added a direct flight to Pittsburgh too.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I could just go see my sister and go see Chris. Yeah. I was like, yeah, and not have to have layovers. That's beautiful.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Because there's direct flights from Pittsburgh to DC too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because make a triangle.
I know. Seriously.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, you sent me that, and I said I see a lot of weekend trips coming our
especially
way.
with me getting off work at 12:30, hop on an afternoon flight, be there Friday by the evening.
Seriously,
like
go out.
Yeah, be perfect. Yeah. And
then you can take that late flight back.
On Sunday.
Be back by midnight.
Get a little go to work at 4.
Go to work. Yeah.
Monday might hurt a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah, I know. I was like, wow, that is amazing. That's literally perfect. So
yeah. I'm very excited.
I am too. I might get bored and just be like, I don't have anything to do this weekend. I'm coming to see you. Yeah.
Hey.
And it's nice for you too, because that means that there's nonstops from Reagan to here.
Exactly. So that's gonna oh my god, that's gonna be so nice when like that conference is happening in like that February, March area.
Yeah.
I literally just gotta get the late flight.
I know, it's perfect.
Wow.
It's perfect. Not a road trip, but that's okay.
Have you used that airport before?
I have not. I have never had a reason to. I almost flew out of there once, but I ended up flying out of Columbus.
So I will say before we get back to the road trip topic, this airport that I went to for this meeting was the Columbia Regional Airport. And let me tell you, she was regional, all right. I had to walk out on the tarmac from my plane. They did not have a bridge thing or whatever to walk into the thing. They had one luggage carousel that was in a room that is probably like 1,200 square feet.
Yeah. It sounds like it was just like Rickenbacker.
I have been to the Bangor airport in Maine, and she was bigger than that.
Oh my God. I liked going to the smaller airport though. I liked going to Rickenbacker a lot more than I do John Glenn.
I need options. Food.
I will say there was one time where our plane was late and we had to walk out onto the tarmac to like go up the plane, and it felt so wrong. I felt like I wasn't supposed to be out there.
I know. I walked off the plane because they were like, "You're going to be doing this," and I was like, "I'm going to be doing what?" And then I walk out there and I'm like,
"Excuse me."
And then I was like, "Where are they taking us?" It looked like we were going into like a baseball dugout.
And I always thought that I would like feel special doing that because all the celebrities like, you know, walk out to their private planes. No, it felt weird. Felt really wrong. Yeah. Well, back to road trips.
Road trips. What would you say your favorite road trip that you've ever been on was?
I always liked the drive to Tennessee, like with my family, just because it's like 6 hours. So it's like just long enough to where you're like that last hour, you are so ready to be there and be out of the car. I like the drive for that one, especially like going from flat Ohio to the mountains. I always liked. I don't know. The most fun ones were definitely our Cedar Point trips for sure. I hated when we would drive to Florida. We drove to Florida a couple times, and like it's supposed to be like a 12-hour drive to the Panhandle. It would turn into like 15 or 18. It sucked. I hated it. Like the body is just not made to be in a car for that long, and we have flown ever since. So
I would say my most fun. I had a lot of fun. Obviously, the Cedar Point ones. Those were tons of fun. I also had, when I was younger, so when we would go to Florida, we would stay at a couple different places, but we would rent an RV sometimes. I believe it was or all the time. I don't know. Sometimes. And because every time that we would go, we would stop and see like family members or friends like a lot.
That'd be fun.
We don't want to like stay in their house, so we're just gonna stay in the RV.
Yeah.
And so like my mom's best friend lives in Atlanta, so we'd stop and see him. We have family that live in Florida, so we'd stop and see them.
I forgot one.
And so we would road trip down to Florida in the RV, and my parents would pick me up when I got off of school, and the RV, take my school bag with me, and I was just laying on the floor playing with my action figures, doing whatever the heck I want.
I can see it now.
I was having a great time.
So I totally forgot about when we went to Las Vegas when I was a junior in high school, we rented a car and we drove from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon and stayed at the Grand Canyon for like 2 days because like you have to when you're that close. And that was half the reason why we went. That was one of the coolest drives. We ended up in a dust storm and we had like not been out west. My dad, I think, was the only one that had been out west before. And it was like we were in this tiny little like Chevy Cruze, I think, and just driving through this dust storm and just seeing like mountains, like the Rocky Mountains out in the distance, and like it's just like dry. And then like we were so excited to get to the Grand Canyon. Like that was really cool just because it was like very much like out of our element of like what we're used to like environment wise. So that was cool. And I think it was like a 3 or 4 hour drive.
I was going to say, I wondered how long it was.
I remember it being like between 2 and 4. I'm curious what your thoughts are on solo trips. This is something we were talking about in the office the other day, especially like for women. Obviously, you know, guys can do it too, but just like being in your 20s and 30s, just like now's the time to go on a solo trip. So I'm curious what your thoughts are, if you've ever thought about it.
I've never really thought about it because I'm not the type of person, like, I don't like going to restaurants by myself.
I do.
like I'll go like, or I'll order food or whatever and go pick it up, but like I don't
Mhm.
like go sit in a
See,
restaurant
this
by
is where
myself.
Chris and I are different. Like, for me to escape from the world, I either go home, go to a restaurant by myself, or I go to a movie by myself. And going to a movie by yourself, if you've never done it, go to a matinee at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and go see a movie by yourself. Get the large popcorn. No one's gonna know. And it is the best. Literally, that's what I have done the past, not last year because of COVID, right? Yeah, not this previous February because of COVID, but like all of the years I've been in college, all of my birthdays, on my birthday, I go see a matinee by myself. And I come back and everyone's like, "Where were you?" Like I was like, "Oh, I went to a movie." And they're like, "Oh, you went by yourself? That's so sad. Like you should have invited us. We would have gone with you. Like it's your birthday." And I'm like, "No, that defeats the whole purpose. I don't want you to be with me."
I wanted to be by myself.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I don't really do that. But like the older that I get, I'm like, it would be nice to get away by yourself for a weekend
Hmm.
and just like chill.
I have decided that I want to start small and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to go to Tennessee first because it's like 3-4 hours from where I'm at in Lexington.
Mhm.
But I haven't decided if I want to go. It's like I love Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg because that's where my parents always travel to. I just love like the Smoky Mountain, tourist vibe, and I really want to get an Airbnb cabin with a hot tub
Mhm.
and just sit in the hot tub in the snow. That is the best.
Mhm.
I remember doing that when I was little. So I don't know if I want to go there because it's like familiar. I've been there, God, probably over 8 times now. I know where everything is, but also there's also a pizza place down there called the Smoky Mountain Brewery. That's like my all-time favorite pizza, like in the US. And oh, a slice of that pizza right now would be fabulous. But so I might just go for the pizza. But then I also kind of want to go to Nashville. Because I last time I went, I was in the 8th grade. But I'm like, okay, that sounds kind of overwhelming by myself. Like, and I feel like
I
that's
feel
like,
like that's a little overwhelming by
yeah, and I feel like
yourself.
there's just a
Like, what
lot
are
of
you gonna
opportunities.
do?
I feel like there's a lot of opportunities get taken. So, and a
Girl,
lot, and a lot of,
somebody's gonna want to see that booty and they're gonna want to snatch it.
yeah, yeah, and like, yeah, I feel like it would just be. I feel like it's just, and like, I feel like it'd be really obvious to figure out that I'm by myself because I feel like everyone goes to Nashville, especially down to Broadway, like
Yeah.
with people. So I think Nashville's a no. But then a lot of my friends are telling me that I should go to Knoxville, and that would be a good place to
I've been to
explore by yourself.
Knoxville. It's a very cool place.
Yeah, and I could still get
They
a
have
cabin.
cookout. They have cookout.
Well, I mean, I have one like 20 minutes from my house, but still good to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided. I don't know if I want to go to someplace familiar since it's my first solo trip and I know where everything is at and I want to like play it safe, or if I
Mhm.
want to go to Knoxville and try a new city.
Mhm.
But yeah, I want to start out with Tennessee and then like just gradually move farther away. And Tennessee's nice because like with getting off work, I mean, yeah, I could be in Tennessee by Friday evening too
Yeah.
and have 2 full nights, 2 full days there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's true. We need to go to Nashville.
we do. I have not
I've
been since
never
I was in the
been.
8th grade, and I was like with like my aunt, my mom, my sister, and my cousin.
I've never been.
I mean, since I was in the 8th grade, I remember going to a lot of antique malls. Like I don't really. I remember just kind of being there because I was the youngest.
Yeah. We need to be fun 20 somethings and go.
I know. Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, I've never been.
And there's so many pretty
That'd be fun.
memorials out there that I
Mhm.
see on Instagram and everything, and
Yeah. It's a cool place.
I will bring my cowboy boots back with me when I go home.
Yeehaw, cowgirl. Well, I guess like what would you say, what was your least favorite road trip that you've ever done?
Definitely driving to Florida. There
Okay,
was
going to Florida.
a trip I took when I was in 5th grade, and it was my mom, my librarian, my elementary school librarian, and my 4th grade teacher and her daughter. And we went to Myrtle Beach when I was in 4th grade, and then we went to Florida to Fort Walton when I was in 5th grade. and that was a drive from hell. It poured all through Tennessee. We all wanted to pull over and like get a hotel, and one of the ladies was like, "No, we're not stopping. I'll drive. It's fine." Hydroplaned pretty much through Tennessee.
Love that.
Saw life flight land on the freeway. Like, it was bad. Then we like get out of the rain. We get stuck in Alabama for like 5 hours because
Alabama.
there's construction clear down like the whole way. So we got stuck there. So then we finally get there, and we find out that like the hotel room that we got is crap. We ended up getting a different one. Then the second one, we weren't able to control the AC. And we were like, yeah, it's July in the summer. Like, you're going to tell me that you're going to control the AC? No. So then we ended up moving to another hotel. Like, we were to the point where we're like, are we sleeping in our cars tonight? Like, what's happening? Finally, the third one ended up working out, but it was crazy. And like, we got there and like, we were in a minivan, and it was like my mom, and then like, the three ladies, and then me and Lexi were crammed in the back of this minivan. She slept the entire way. And we get there after going through hell, and she wakes up and goes, "Wow, that wasn't that bad." And everyone turned around and was like, "Shut up!" Like, ah.
She was like, "Rude awakening." Oh my god.
So yeah, that sucked. That was the longest drive of my life.
That's not fun. Well, it was nice to share memories and stories and stuff. It was fun.
We haven't taken a trip down memory lane in a hot minute.
I know.
We've been so consumed with our present lives.
I know. Just so selfish of us. Well, next week, I'm really excited for the podcast next week. To give you a little hint, it's a little bit of a Thanksgiving theme, because we are not going to be sharing a new episode the week of Thanksgiving, because that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And
who's going to be like at Thanksgiving dinner and be like, hold on, we have to turn on Candid Chats with CNC.
I know. Like, listen, I know that we're wonderful. I'm just kidding. But no, that'll be a nice time for us to actually spend time with our families and enjoy the holiday, and for you all to enjoy the holiday. But
yes. Well, we do apologize. We do apologize in advance that Chris?
If you would shut up for a minute, I was just going to reiterate the fact that I'm excited to film next week, because it's going to be a little Thanksgiving-y feel, and we're going to talk about things that we're thankful for and traditions and stuff like that. So,
and I was going to say,
anyway,
I apologize that our schedule has been a little wonky, and it will continue to be a little wonky once we get through the holidays. But we will be back to posting consistently, hopefully, fingers crossed, once the holiday season is over.
We'll get back into the normal swing after Thanksgiving for a couple weeks, and then it'll be Christmas and New Year, so we'll take some time off then too. And then once the new year comes, 2020's here, baby, and we're gonna keep going.
2020's here?
Or God, not 2020. I don't want to live that thing again. 2022 is here.
Don't do that to me. Oh my god. You are so confident. 2020 is here, baby. No.
Do you remember that New Year's trip when you were here and we watched the ball drop in my living room, and then we were like, nothing's changed.
That was the most anticlimactic New Year's I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, we were just like,
and I was like, why even set new goals or resolutions when like the world is in shambles? Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, weird times. But
yeah,
well, it's been good. It's been fun.
Yes, it feels good to record again.
Yeah, it was good. It's good to be back. But also, how wild is it that we're creeping up on 1 year? It'll be a couple months.
April.
It's almost like 4 months away, 5 months away.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. Well, I guess what I'm saying is it's kind of wild that we've been doing this for 7 months.
I'm so proud of us
I know.
for everything that's been going on in our own lives. The fact that we carve out 2, sometimes 3 hours every week to
Yeah,
record and then add editing and running the social medias on top of that. I'm very proud of us for the time commitment that we have put into this.
I know. So go team.
Well, it's like, I don't know, like, like we would have to carve out time to talk to each other. I learned so much about your current life just by recording the podcast with you.
I know. It's like,
Like,
well,
you guys might get tired of our updates at the beginning of every episode, but we need them to know what's
I
going
know
on.
it's like I'm telling her stuff that I haven't told her yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's
Well, anywho,
fun.
we will.
It's something to like look forward to too. It's like,
Yeah.
like I know that I'm gonna catch up with Colleen this week if I don't get to talk to her
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah. Well, and like when we were talking about having listeners in other countries yesterday, I was like, oh my God, whenever I get discouraged about the podcast or we're having trouble finding time to record like we did last week, something big like this happens, whether we like reach a numbers goal or the state's goal that happened at a good time. Or like with this, like, yeah, I was kind of feeling a little discouraged because we weren't finding the time to record. And I felt bad because we really want to be consistent and, give you guys content every week. And it's really hard on us when we have to be like, yeah, we don't have time this week to record. So it was a great feeling seeing that and kind of lit the fire back up under me that I needed to be like, oh my God, we got to keep going.
I know. I agree. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the future holds for us.
Yes.
I think it'll be good
And
stuff.
if you have friends in other countries, send them our link.
Yeah, let's get it. Now we need to like have the goal of like a different continent.
We already hit it.
We're like we already got enough. I know, but like
We need a third one.
We need a third one.
Yeah. Okay, I see what
North
you're saying.
America, Europe.
I need Canada. They speak English too.
I know. What the heck's up, Canada? You're our neighbor. And we got Austria, Switzerland, and
Poland.
And you can't even. Rude.
Yeah.
That's okay. We'll get there.
Yes. Exciting.
Cool. Okay. Well, again, it's been fun. Thank you guys for joining us this week. It's been a ton of fun to be able to catch back up with Colleen and put out some more content for you all. And we will see you right back here next week. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.